Hello, my dear young students. Welcome to another session of e-learning, wherein we bring the e-content to your doorstep. In today's session, we discuss about the topic called as homeless in the global village. The title seems to be very interesting as it says about being homeless in the global village. This is a very ironical and a paradoxical title which has given enough food for thought. This essay is a very insightful essay which has been authored by Madam Vandana Shiva. She has been very instrumental in bringing out the problems of the tribals, and she has been a very balanced critique of the so-called development of the modern world, such as bringing huge dams, military bases, nuclear power plants, all this and much more at the cost of displacing tribals. This has been a very great eye-opener in the 21st century. So in this session, let me try to do a brief analysis about some interesting and very important aspects which are needed both from the examination point of view and also from the analytical viewpoint. We must understand that development is not uprooting of the tribals. Why should the tribals who have been living in the native forests as aborigines, as the native inhabitants, why should they be displaced? Why should the forest wealth be plundered? Is the big question. Does development come at the cost of disturbing the peaceful lives of the tribals? What does the development mean in the modern world? Development, as Vandana Shiva says, is the construction of large dams, the mines, the planes, the military bases which are built, the energy plants which are constructed. They are all the temples of the new religion which is called as the development. So a religion that provides rationale in modernizing the state, the bureaucracies and technocracies. So in the process, what happens? What is being sacrificed at the altar of the religion is the nature's life and people's life. Sacraments of development are made on the ruins and desecration of other sacreds, especially the sacred soil. They are based on dismantling of society and community and uprooting of the people and culture. Soil is a sacred mother, the womb of life in nature and in society. So such kind of massive destruction and displacement of the tribals has been taking place. There is a sacred bond that connects the parts of the whole. The sanctity of the soil must be always sustained. It limits the scope for development. And from that viewpoint, the managers of development, the high priests of the new religion, the sacred bonds with the soil are the impediments and hindrances to be shifted and sacrificed. All this happens at the cost of bringing a lot of disastrous changes to the nature. In India, the magnitude of this sacrifice is now becoming very much evident because now we have a large number of multinational companies which are stepping into our country. So we have become, the tribals especially have become the victims of progress, victims of experienced the uprooting, and they have resisted all this. But both as a victim of the state perceived each sacrifice as a small one for the national interest. So there is a big debate going on. Is the national interest important or the welfare of the tribals and protection of nature important? There's a big debate going on, but this is a very debatable thing. Uh, and sometimes in the larger national interest, the tribals have to give up what is being thought to be theirs. So in some cases, we have 15 million people who have been uprooted from their homelands in India during the past 4 development decades. So they have their links to the soil, and it has been sacrificed to accommodate the mines, dams, factories, and wildlife parks. So these are the different problems which the tribals face. And now we have soil as a sacred mother. The tribals worship the land as their mother. So we have one example of Gandhamardhan hills, the Save Gandhamardhan movement. The tribals have had a lot of regards for this Gandhamardhan area, the Gandhamardhan forests, because it was believed that Lakshman's life was saved by the medicinal plants which had been picked by Lord Hanuman in Gandhamardhan hills. Now this particular land, the forest, has been desecrated, so to say, by the stepping of a multinational aluminium company, the Bharat Aluminium Company Limited, which has entered the sacred forest area of Gandhamardhan Hills and has desecrated, or rather defiled, the forest area. This has been happening after the Amarkantak forest area, the mountains have been desecrated. So in the process, what happens? There's a great leader called as Gangaram Kalandia, the leader of the tribal and anti-dam movement. He was very vocal and he was very determined to stop all the development according to him. And he was shot dead by the police. And 7 years later, his fellow tribals still continue to resist the building of the dams because it will tear them away from the soil of their birth, the soil which has provided them sustenance, which links them to their ancestors. So we have similar movements in coastal Orissa. The people of Baliapal, they also resist the setting up of national rocket testing range in Valiapal in Orissa. This kind of resistance happens when the tribals are being displaced from their native forest lands. So the soil has embodied the ecological and spiritual home for most cultures. It is not only for the representation, the biological life, it is also for the cultural and spiritual life, because the soil epitomizes the source of sustenance and it is the home in the deepest sense. So this is an overview of the topic called as homeless in the global village. From the examination point of view, you could be asked questions about the two classes of homeless who are emerging in a global village. The two classes of homeless uh, which is emerging in the global village. And the next, a debatable question, bullets as well as bulldozers are often necessary to execute the development project. Bullets, by this we mean here the power of the state, the power of the police, as well as the bulldozers, the destroyers. Is this necessary for development? It's a debatable question. And you may also asked to write a short note on Gandhamardan movement. And when you must also pay attention to the geographical and mythological significance of the Gandhamardan forests. So this is a very broad overview of the topic, homeless in the global village. So you could also watch the video on this YouTube link to get a better insight into the whole dynamics of this essay. Thank you, my dear young friends, for your patient listening. Thank you.